I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin. And I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency. Elizabeth Warren and her goons. Elizabeth Warren and her goons away. Elizabeth Warren and her goons. I will keep them away from your Bitcoin, but not our XRP. We all know that you mean our Bitcoin, our crypto, our XRP, but we're not allowed to talk about it, are we, El Presidente? So I'm the Digital Asset Guy, your host. Here's a preview of what we're going to talk about in this video. Here is Vincent Scott, one of the people I really admire in the space. And here's just a little taste of it, if I can find the right thing. There we go. He worked on President Trump's campaign, ran for office himself, and then entered the crypto space. And he's very passionate about his work. He's very unique in the way he does things. Just take a little listen, and then we'll cover it later in the video.
Yeah, it is right when I got back from doing Trump's 2024 campaign. So I've been studying all this for my entire life.
This guy is really, really sharp when it comes to economics, politics, the financial system. I've met him a couple times and video chatted with him too. And by the way, that's the Dip a Toe show with Melissa. The Digital Asset Guy was the special guest a little while ago. But we're going to look into that. And then here's something really interesting. 68% of U.S. millionaires have crypto. Abs from Good Evening Crypto shared this today. But go ahead and take a listen.
In crypto, in crypto.com.
Yes.
So he's investing in crypto.com saying, look, this is a viable industry. You just heard my conversation, though, with Senator Cynthia Lummis.
Yes.
And she said it's unlikely that we're going to see the Clarity Act pass. Does that put a wrench in anything in terms of the digital assets flow?
I don't think it has. I think that, first off, no army can stop an idea whose time has come. Nobody is stopping crypto. I think the big thing, and what I'm super excited about, and I think we're early innings, is that with the $3 trillion worth of crypto that's out there being held by 700 million people, and by the way, U.S. millionaires, several million of them, 68% of them have crypto. It's really about...
So that's really saying something, but it's kind of on the down low. I've found that in my content, in my street interviews. You know, a lot of people have crypto, but it's kind of not cool to talk about it yet. But as you can see, I was in Miami, and we're going to be debriefing some of the work, the field research that I was doing when we come back. Hope you enjoy that beautiful intro. See you in a couple seconds. So I think it's kind of exciting that you have a brand new asset class. Welcome back. I'm the Digital Asset Guy, your host, who has a very weak voice after doing like over 50 field research street interviews in Miami. My voice is a little tired and it has been a little hoarse, but it's all part of the game. It was worth it. We did some really incredible street interviews. You're going to see them. I will be editing them and posting them. They're very entertaining, to say the least. All right, we've got Bitcoin at 62,954, just under 63. Very predictable. Ethereum back around 1,800. BNB 605. U.S. dollar has some competition at 99 cents. It's a stable coin that stays at $1. XRP looks like a stable coin right now. So just very predictable stuff, just waiting game while we wait to break out of this thing. Where's Cardano at 18 cents? Very nice, up off that 15 cents. Still, yeah, everything's just still down here, but I believe it's only a matter of time until we bust out of here. Here's what the blockchain backer says, and this is the best in the business, in my opinion, blockchain backer. In 2022, when the monthly MACD crossed through zero, FTX collapsed and Bitcoin hit 10.6 million coins in a loss. So coins, not $10.6 million, 10.6 million coins. So we can go back and look at, you know, the numbers
in the past. And so in 2026, when the monthly MACD crossed through zero, STRC depegged, strategy sold, and Bitcoin hit 10.8 million coins in a loss. So that was just right now in 2026. In 2022, that was the bottom of total. So the crypto total market cap, that was the bottom. So basically, it's all right if you don't understand all this stuff. I've been here since 2016. I'm still learning about it. But basically, when we had this much crypto sold off, it was the bottom in the last bear market. So looks like it's eventually a waiting game, and this is what we do every time. It's not special. So it's times like now. This is honestly the best time, and nothing that I say in these videos is financial or investment advice. Just my own personal thoughts, opinions, feelings, philosophies, things like that for entertainment and educational purposes only. But it's times like right now. Everybody's bored with crypto. Most people think crypto's over. They say that every bear market. We're going higher and higher and higher every single cycle. Every time it goes down, they don't realize it's higher than it was the last bear market. It's like stair steps. That's how it works. I mean, I feel incredible about where I'm at in the market. I sold near the top, and then I've re-entered, not as well as Blockchain Backer has with his daily auto buys. He does it exactly right. But this is the time, and if you're looking for a platform to do this, I highly recommend iTrust Capital. You only pay a 1% transaction fee. You can have your crypto inside of an IRA, Roth traditional SEP, or not in an IRA and in a regular premium custody account, or a premium custody treasury if you have a business or LLC, but you only pay 1% transaction fees and you get institutional grade custody and security. If you want to go a different route, Caleb and Brown is amazing. They have crypto brokers who you can call on the phone, email, and it is their job to give you financial and investment advice. So give them a call or look them up. I'll have links to both of these down in the bottom. So here is the other day I was invited to come on the Crypto Bros show with In It to Win It, XRP Dad, and XRP Gold God. So here's a little bit of I was really losing my voice on this day. This is when I was down in Miami, but just take a listen.
10 of your friends had a Facebook page, and they were saying, you know, you need to make one. And I think
here I'm talking about where I believe crypto is right now in this part of the cycle. Let me back it up a little bit.
back when Facebook and Twitter were just coming about, where maybe 2 out of 10 of your friends had a Facebook page, and they were saying, you know, you need to make one. And I think everybody's going to have a Facebook page or a Twitter. And you know what else? I think businesses are going to start advertising on this Facebook. You know, I think that's where crypto's at about now.
Mm-hmm. And I do believe that, because if you just go back and look at the trends, people said no one's going to use social media. No one's going to use Uber. No one's going to get in the car with a stranger. That's what we're doing now, but it had to be tweaked and the right laws had to be in place and people had to have the right understanding and kind of learn how it works. But I think that's where crypto is right now. Let's go back to Vincent Scott here on the Dip a Toe show. This is an interesting guy who worked on the Trump campaign, and this is a little of his story, how he got started.
You know, as a delegate for Ron Paul, you know, ran for office myself.
If it'll play.
And after I got laid off, went and did the thing for Trump's campaign 2024. It was that November. So November 2024. That all of a sudden I just started looking in the scroll at a bunch of nonsense that a lot of these huge accounts would start to spew out about, you know, dates and charts and prices and all this other stuff. And it just wasn't right to me. And I just snapped and I just started recording videos and just started okay, here it is. I got tired of it. You know, it's like, I don't know who these people are. I know they don't know what they're talking about because obviously what they're saying is completely incorrect. Like, for instance, when you talk about prices and charts, okay, this has never happened before. These have never had the laws available for them to actually scale with the value in the forms of stablecoins, foreign CBDC, tokenized assets, securities, and treasuries. So that those laws haven't been effective yet. So how are they coming up with a price?
Yeah.
There's no model by which they can do that. If we live in a highly manipulated market in a random world, there's no.
So anyway, what he's saying there, I think, is right on the money. Like things that I've said in the past, like I've been in rooms with people who know things, and they've told me, you know, what you see on the news with crypto and politics. A lot of times that's just what they need to show to keep everyone preoccupied, but then there's a real plan and there's puppet masters pulling the puppet strings, like Blockchain Backer says. And so, you know, this industry is not going anywhere, but there's a lot of noise. But the most important thing you can do is try to find what's not noise and what's actually real. And, you know, Blockchain Backer, he is a chart analyst who has been right. To a very accurate degree. We're not talking people like that, but some people say, you know, this will happen on this date, and so the price will have to go here, when that's not really what chart analysis is. Chart analysis is analyzing the behavior and the psychology of the buyers and sellers. That is very accurate. And we've been doing the same thing in these basically 4-year cycles, just like I showed here with, where was it, with Blockchain Backer. It's the same exact thing, you know, basically, not always, not the exact same, but the gist of it is generally the same. So that's just something to think about. And then later he starts connecting some of the real political dots with it. Let me see if I can find it.
Is that, you know, all of these laws are hitting right now as Trump is trying to reshore manufacturing, as he's trying to take out these vectors of instability, as he's trying, you know, he's got $20 trillion worth of trade deals that he was able to get. And then you look at it side by side with, well, why were they trying to stop Trump in the first place? And then you start looking at Ripple and they're like, well, they got targeted as soon as Trump was going out the door in 2020. And Biden put a stop to.
And we saw some very interesting emails from somebody named Jeffrey. Last name starts with an E. And Gary Gensler, you know, saying, oh, Gensler, yeah, he'd be a good guy for the job. And that's where the whole Ripple SEC lawsuit came from. It's a huge rabbit hole you can fall down. But I think Vincent is right on the money. I think he's smart. I think he does real research. And there is no BS in his style, and it's really great. So one thing that I really kind of connected with back here was when he said he just snapped one day when he heard chart analysts and people kind of hyping things.
Yeah, it is right when I got back from doing Trump's 2024 campaign.
Yeah, let's listen one more time.
You out about, you know, dates and charts and prices and all this other stuff. And it just wasn't right to me. And I just snapped. And I just started recording videos and just started okay, here it is.
You know, that's kind of similar to what happened with me with my crypto dating content, you know? I got really tired of when people would say, you know, oh, you just haven't met the right person, or, you know, it'll happen when you're least expecting it. And, oh, a girl said that. Oh, you must have misunderstood. She's a nice girl. She wouldn't do that. And money doesn't matter. And it's all personality. And if you treat a woman right, you know, she'll fall in love with you. I got so tired of hearing things like that. And I'm out here seeing the research, the reality. And or before I was doing this, I was just seeing the reality. So I decided, it was a little bit of a joke at first. I said, I'm going to walk around and I'm going to show the reality. I'm going to ask ladies, you know, would you rather date a regular millionaire or a crypto millionaire? Would you date a crypto millionaire if he seemed like he was broke and he was really frugal? Would you date a guy who doesn't invest at all, but he makes a lot of money and spends a lot of money? And so I went out and I snapped and was like, fine, I'm going to show people the reality. And it's funny, now when I show them, now they don't want to watch it. And a lot of them are the ones that say negative things and, oh, this, you shouldn't do this content. I think it's because they don't like it, because it's a little too real for them and it shows it. But here's me in Miami when we first got there. I was like, wow, we got yachts, G-Wagons, and then there was an orange cyber truck over here. I was like, let's do an intro video right here. It's much better with music on YouTube, by the way. Hey everybody, it's Digital Asset Guy. We're out here in a very ritzy area of Miami, and we're asking people what's important to them in a relationship, who they'd rather date, and a very common answer we keep getting is money doesn't matter. I beg to argue, I don't know if I believe that by the looks of this place. I mean, doesn't look like money doesn't matter to me, but what do you think? Put it in the comments below. You think they're telling the truth in Miami? Digital Asset Guy out. You know, it's the honest truth. We'd walk up to girls, I'm going to show you one in a second, where they'd be coming on or getting on or coming off of like a $50 million yacht that I'm guessing somebody else owns or chartered for them. And I'd ask them, you know, what's the most important thing in a relationship? Oh, personality. I'm like, well, what about, would you, then I ask them the financial, the crypto questions. And the point is, since we all know money does matter, which financial situation would you choose? Is like what we're getting at here. And they always want to change the question and say, well, what's his personality like? And it's like, it's not what we're talking about. We're asking which financial situation, and we're trying to find also what the general public knows about crypto. So, but it's just funny. They always try to go to, oh, well, what's the personality
Figures and
like? But it's kind of funny because it's very, you know, we know money does matter, but we always want to pretend like it doesn't, is what I'm getting at here. And by the way, this short is much better on YouTube with $1 Million Baby playing in the background.
Would you rather date a guy who's 6 feet tall who makes 6 figures and he doesn't invest, or a guy who makes 5 figures, is 5'10", and he's got 7 figures in crypto?
I think it matters personality.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about the money.
Okay.
Always want to say it's about personality. And I see girls today, they date guys with no personality who are just sitting there like, what's up? You know, no personality, but you know, they have money, or maybe they're tall, or maybe they even just look like they have money. That's the other thing. They want a guy who's like tall, you know, 6'5", or as tall as possible. He has money and he looks like he has money. If you get a guy who's, you know, who's normally tall, you know, 6 foot, 5'10", even if he has money, he can prove it, but he doesn't look like he has money. They don't like that either. And they don't want to come out and admit it, but it's what I've found in the reality.
You're in Miami, girl. This is Sin City. You're telling me money doesn't matter?
No.
Is this your boat? What's the biggest red flag in dating? Like, a guy does this, I'm breaking up with him.
I don't know.
Yeah?
Probably someone who like cares about what he wears too much.
Cares about what he wears too much? What about this? Do I care too much about what I wear?
Too much. Too much.
We have to go.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
Yeah, whoever this lady was, maybe it was her mom, maybe not. She didn't like the whole thing because I think she saw what I was getting at. But you know, really, when you walk around and you do cut through all the noise and you just ask the questions, you start to see like what the reality is. And again, I try to have my friends who tell me, oh, it doesn't matter, you know, you need to, it'll happen, it'll just happen when you're least expecting it. When I try to have them watch these, and then I have some other ones that I'm not even going to post because they're a little too, you know, they're just, they're a little wild. But I'll show them those, and they don't want to watch it, and they like change the subject. Like, this is poking a giant hole in my narrative that you know, people don't care about money and it's all personality and it'll just happen. And so I'm a little bit like Vincent Scott, where I just got tired of it and I snapped one day and said, I'm going to show people. Okay, my voice is giving out on me again, but the whole trip was worth it. Go ahead and make sure you're subscribed. Hit the like buttons. Give me a thumb up. It's free. Doesn't cost you anything. And please share this video with anyone who you think might need to see it to be educated on crypto or even just entertained. It's word of mouth and direct referrals that help me the most. And if you help me share my content, you'll be helping me get just a little bit closer to doing my dream job of talking crypto all day, every day for fun and because it's what I like to do. And there's so many people who are uneducated about crypto today. I think we need to change that. But I think it's all right to have fun while we do it and show some fun content. Thank you so much for watching. Digital Asset Guy out.